Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be ranking all my Natasha Denona palettes. I don't own every single one of her palettes, but I own a lot of them. I own 11 like bigger ones. I decided to skip the minis just because many of the minis I've either given away or depotted and put them in like just a Z palette, and that would be just too complicated. So I thought I would just keep it to the big ones, and I have one that I'm missing that I don't know what I did with, so I will kind of show a picture and talk about it then. But if you guys are interested, continue watching. If you're new here, welcome. I'd love for you to subscribe down below, and let's get started. You know, I was kind of surprised that this was not that hard. I knew which one that was the last one. I knew which one was the first, like 2, 3, and the rest kind of progressed pretty naturally. All right, let's talk about my number 11. And well, I guess this would be number 12 because I'm going to talk about one that I don't have here. But this is the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. I had issues with this. I think this is the one palette that I've had a hard time using. She had a lot of cream to powder, if I remember correctly, in here, but the shimmers was the problem for me. They just didn't wow me. This was a one that I really enjoy. This one down here, I thought it was pretty, but it's one of those softer topper kind of shadows. And this one, these are the two brighter ones, were nice. These I enjoyed. It was more disappointing in this area right there. Let me swatch a couple. This one right here, it was just too soft. Just didn't give me enough. Same with this one right here, Aura. Like you can kind of see that it's not super punchy. It's not just what I know Natasha Denona to be. Let me swatch these two. So see what I mean? Like Natasha Denona is better than this. And I don't like that gold color right there. I did like the story. I know a lot of people were like put off by the story, but I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed these colors right here a lot. I enjoyed this peach and this one right here, like this whole row. So the color story was not the problem. It was just like the shimmers, in my opinion. And some of the mattes were just harder to work with, even though it has that cream to powder formula. This one right here is kind of used a lot, and I would have to pick up so much. Like I'm swatching it right here, and I would have to pick a little too much for it to show up properly. And I don't mind building up colors, but this was just a little bit too much work. So overall, this is my last pick, and I don't think I would recommend it. Like, to be honest, out of all of them, this is the one that I'm like, it's okay if you skip that. You won't miss too much. Honestly, I'm keeping it only because of my channel, and I want to have and compare things. But if I didn't have a channel, I probably would have gotten rid of this one. Moving on to the next one, which would be, I guess, number 11. It is the bronze palette. And I like this palette. Like, this is one that I do enjoy. It's just a very repetitive colors. So you can kind of see already that there's a lot of bronzy tones. I mean, there's not much more you can do except bronzy colors. I love this color right here, and I'm really glad that they put it. It's a really, really cool color. It has like a shift in it, and I think it's beautiful. There is this one right here, Bliss, as well. That one is a little different. I'll swatch them right here. So those two, I think they're fun. But then you have like, look at these, all of these. I just find them to be too similar. This one right there, they're all bronzy. Now this is called the bronze palette, and I love bronzy tones, so I enjoy this palette. If you're somebody that loves bronzy tones and that's something that you reach for, this is great quality. It just overall, I like it. It's just, I just feel like it's a bit repetitive. And I'll show you another one that has a lot of bronze, but the formula is so different and you get just a little bit more diversity than just this. The next palette is the Circo Loco, and I bought that one. I did a review, and I think I took it somewhere on the job and probably left it there because I cannot find it anywhere. Now I really loved that palette. Again, I feel like I love all the Natasha Denona palettes, so except the Zendo, I don't have one that I don't recommend. I think they're all amazing. It's just kind of what you're reaching for. And the reason I put that one here is because it's quite colorful and I don't see myself using it, even if I owned it, that often. Now I would love to have it in my collection again because the colors were so fun and it sparked a creative side of me. But I don't see myself reaching for it that often, and the quality was amazing. I just remember those shimmers were amazing. That orange look I did with it, oh, I loved it so much. So I slightly missed that palette, but I put it lower because of those reasons. Just the color story is something that it's not a day-to-day thing, but great quality and pretty cool looks. Like you can create pretty cool looks with it. Number 9 goes to my first ever Natasha Denona palette, and that is the Sunset palette. Oh, I have loved this one so much. I mean, I remember saving my money for it, and when I paid, I don't think I've paid full price. I think I bought it at a 20% off. Oh, I was just, I couldn't believe I spent that much money on a palette, but I adored this palette. I literally worshipped it, and these are kind of my tones. I loved this. These two right here are actually beautiful, beautiful colors. I know this palette's expired, but I don't care. So those are the colors. There's absolutely intense pigment shimmer in here. I'll swatch these two because wow, they are so intense. Right here and up here. This is what I expect from a Natasha Denona palette. Those kind of like intense shimmers, or if you change the formula, just give me pigment to it. And even the oranges, I got a lot of use out of this yellow one, believe it or not. I would just do this all over the lid with a black liner and like a peachy lip or something like that. So I really loved this palette and I think it's great. It's just a lot of money because it's a big one, and if you don't use all the shades, it's probably not worth it. Now, she came out with a mini sunset or a midi sunset, and then I don't own that one, but it looks really nice. So maybe that's a better option than spending full price on this one. But I love it. I'm still keeping it, and I think it's a great palette. I've never picked up the Lila, but after all these years, I still want it. I know it was at a sale, like a really good deal, and I still didn't pick it up, but one day I will, because I really enjoy the formula from this one, and I think the Lila is similar. All right, moving on to, is this number 8? I think it's number 8, and that goes to Pastel palette. I really adore this palette. To me, it speaks just summer, fresh, pastel, beautiful, like one and done kind of shadows. And even though this looks a very light, you can build up these colors. So let's say this one right here looks kind of light, but you can build up the color. They're very creamy, amazing formula. And with pastels in general, it's kind of hard to have a good pastel color, mostly matte, that shows up and doesn't just like wash away. And this stays in place. It's perfect. I'm gonna swatch just a few. I think that the quality of this is literally perfect for a pastel color theme. Here are just some of them, and look how intense that one is right there. Oh, so good. And this one reminded me of one in Circo Loco, so I'm not that sad that I don't have that one. I'm not sad enough to buy it again right now because I do have some of those intense shimmers from this one. I have honestly nothing negative to say about this palette. Again, it's lower in ranking just because I don't reach for these colors that often, but when I do want, I think this is wonderful. And I've done a video, I think 5 looks with this palette, and you can see just different looks. Some more wearable, some are a little bit more fun, but yeah, even this color right here, it doesn't look that intense, but you can build this up, and just in the crease it gets darker and darker, and you can really have depth from this palette, even though you may think that you don't. This doesn't exist anymore, I'm pretty sure, but this one again was a huge splurge at the time for me, and that is the Star palette. And I was gonna rank it even higher because I truly love this palette. Even though it didn't get such good reviews compared to other ones, I love this palette. It's a huge mess, as you can tell. It's like destroyed because I've used it that much. Now, the negative about this palette, I would say, is these two shimmers right here. This one and this one. They're extremely crumbly. I mean, extremely. You have to do your eyes before if you want to use those shadows. The rest are fine, but this one and this one, which are the prettiest ones, I think, are so crumbly. Like, I'll show you. Look at that one right here. Like, I just stuck my finger in there. But they are absolutely gorgeous colors. I think she changed the formula of these. She pressed them down a little bit more, so they're a little bit easier to use in her mini. I think this one right here, there's a mini star that has this one in it. I hope. I think so. I love the mattes in this one. I love that you have these browns. I love that you have these. They look similar. And on the eyes, they are different, but she could have replaced one of those. Also, this color right here. Oh, look at that. I just think I like this palette because it's still a palette that's very wearable, but you can get like different fun looks. In, you know, it's a muted palette. It's not super bright. It's not super in your face, but it has a lot of texture. And then another negative was this one and this one seem very similar. And I agree. Look at that. That one and that one, they look almost similar. This one's a little lighter than the other one. So anyway, the palette isn't perfect, but I definitely used it a lot. I actually remember using it so much on my brides just because it has beautiful, beautiful tones. I actually love this color right here. It's kind of similar to what I have on my eyes. And yeah, this is a lovely palette. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of it, even though it's probably expired. Andrew was helping me get ready and my hair was like frizzy, and he's like, how about that frizz? So I fixed the frizz, and he's like, you have a curl on your forehead and it's just this baby hair. So now I'm self-conscious. They won't go away. We'll just try to push them to the side. All right, moving on to, what is this? 2, 4, 6, number 6. And I put the Natasha Denona Face Glam palette. This is in the light version, and I'm not sure if I'm cheating with this one because it is a face palette as well. So I just kind of put them in here, but I think that these just overall, this idea is brilliant. I just wish I had a bronzer in there, but you could definitely probably use one of those. But this is brilliant. Just for traveling, you have your blush, your highlighter, 5 absolutely amazing eyeshadows. And again, I wish I had a bronzer because then that's all you would really need. The quality is amazing, impeccable. The shimmers are very bright and shimmery, textury in a good way. I'll show you right there. See, it has just a huge reflection, and the mattes are so creamy. And I think the key with this one is the undertones of the mattes. Swatch them right there. They're just perfect. Every day you can, make it a little bit more intense with those shimmers, or you could just use the mattes. It's really, really beautiful palette. Very practical. Quality is amazing. And yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with this one. If you think about it, I think it's worth it. The darker one as my next one, which is the 5th, it's because I just love the eyeshadows on this one, and I actually like the highlighter and the blush a little bit better than the other one. I mean, this you can tell that's been used a little bit more, and I think overall this color right here is what makes this be in ahead of the other one. Look at that. It is so, so beautiful. It is like a taupey brown. It has some silver in there. It has some gold in there. It's a very fun, unique color, and it's a very pigmented and creamy. And then even this one right here, up here, it's very nice and intense. Again, this is supposed to be for deeper skin tones, but I still use it. I still love it. And then the mattes, again, the same. They're very creamy, beautiful formula. You don't have to apply it super intense. What I do with this, I'll just take a brush, right? Pick it up and work it into my hand and then go into my crease, and then I really get just a wash of that color. So yeah, I think this is just a stunning palette. Okay, moving on to number 4. And between 3 and 4, I was like, I didn't know which one to pick, but I went for the one that I use more as number 3. So number 4, I picked a Natasha Denona Glam palette. This is again a meaty palette, and I just love this size from Natasha Denona just because it's more affordable. You get a lot of product, you get all these colors, and I will never go through a palette like this. So I don't need the big old eyeshadow. And another reason why I picked this one to be as the 4 is that these colors right here, this one and this one, I don't tend to wear much. This one right here is like a bright color, but it has more of that yellowish greenish undertone. It's very slightly, but it's there. And I do like this gray, but it's gray. So I need to have a desire or a look for that, and I'll show you another kind of gray in my next one. But this I would say when this came out, everybody loved it. I mean, everybody. I think I waited quite a bit to buy it because again, these tones like this one and this one is a cream, but it's like a gray undertone cream color. So for me, it's hard to use that color on my skin tone. I don't find it very flattering. I use it in my crease just to feather things out. But I love this section, like all this, except those 4. It's not that I don't like those. There's a place and a time and a place. That's what I meant to say. Actually, I love this color right there. This is a great crease color. There's a time and a place for those. Look at that color. Oh, that's a pretty one. But I need to have a look in mind to go for these. But the rest, I find them very flattering, very beautiful. The shimmers are beautiful. Like this one right here. Oh, so pretty. This one. They're just beautiful glam-ish colors. Wow, my hands are just all messy. See those three right there? They're just beautiful colors that you can wear quite daily. And I like that they gave you definitely more neutral and more cool tones. It's not just a cool tone palette. You have some neutrals in here to kind of balance it out. So yes, really good palette. I think a lot of people love it, and probably it's a lot of people's favorite, and I also enjoy it. It's really good for brides. A lot of brides like those kinds of tones. All right, moving on to number 3, and this is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes right now, and it is the Retro palette. And look at this. It looks so pretty. Now, when this came out, I almost didn't pick it up because I thought these are just not my colors. I picked it up for YouTube, and I'm so glad I picked it up because I've been reaching for it so much. This looks intimidating initially. You see these burgundy colors. Ooh, it's a little bit more intense. But once you start playing with it, it really is a soft palette. It's not too intense, not too out there, but you can get a lot of depth with it. You definitely get these beautiful like rosier tones, and you get quite a lot of textures. Like you have kind of, is this the top or this one? I can't remember. Oh, this one's kind of more like a topper. This, you have a nice shimmer. This is the color that I was referring to, but I prefer this one. See, this is like that taupey gray color, but it has more brown in it, is and even purple undertone where it's more wearable for me than the other gray. Let me swatch a couple of these since I have them on my hand. This is more of that topper shade. And let's swatch a couple more. Oh, this one right here. Oh, I really love this color as well. Many times I just wear that one as the main color up there. Oh, so beautiful. And again, you do have quite a lot of purples and pinks in here, but you also get these weird warm colors that makes it a little bit more fun and more interesting. I also really like the cream light color. It's not gray undertone. It has definitely a little bit of that pinky undertone. It's right there, but it's a good cream color for my skin tone. So yeah, I've enjoyed this so much more than I thought I would, and I've created some really fun looks. And every time I wear this, every time I wear it, I don't think it's been once that I wore it that somebody didn't ask me what's on your eyes, and it's always this one. All right, moving on to top 2, and with these, they're kind of neck and neck, except one I prefer just 1% more than the other. So number 2 comes the Natasha Denona Biba palette. Ooh, this is a very loved palette of mine. As you can see, I use my palettes. I really use them. They're not clean. And even the mirrors, they're always dirty because I use to tap my shadows. And again, I do makeup for a living as well. So many of these are more neutral palettes I tend to use in my kit quite a lot. Like this one has been in my kit for a long time. I had to pull it out of there to kind of talk about it. Everybody loves this palette, right? I don't know one person that doesn't love this palette. This is beautiful. And is this the first where she introduced the cream to powder formula? I'm not sure. I know there's the Metropolis, which I still want. That looks absolutely stunning. It's just fun and colorful, but still kind of wearable. But there's quite a few cream to powders here. There's her regular powders, and then there's 3 like metallics. And the metallics are perfect. I really like this one right here. Oh, look at that bronzy goodness. So I'll swatch the 3 metallics. So this is what you get. They're intense, but they're not glittery. And I think it's a very appropriate for this palette because this is more of a just neutral, you're just your basic colors. You have neutrals, you have a little bit of a cool tone, you have some warmth in there, you have a little bit of, you know, these burgundy colors. I think it's a very good palette, and I really like that she combined the grays with the warms. This mustardy color is, I've used it so much in my crease. This freckle color, I mean, I feel like everybody, wait, this finger, I don't even know which one's which. The freckle color has been used a lot. And again, buff is right here. Beautiful color. I mean, there's literally not one negative. I personally would not change anything about this palette. It is perfect just the way it is. And for once, I'm glad I have the big one, because I could see myself hitting pan on some of these colors. And number one just has to go to the gold palette. I saw that she brought it back. I'm pretty sure I saw an email where she said it's back. I'm not sure for how long, because this was discontinued. So she kind of brought it back a couple times during Christmas time, and then one more time. And I thought I saw, I'll link it down below if it is, if I find it somewhere. But I mean, this is a beautiful palette. I think it's the most beautiful palette I own. And it just gives me so much excitement. And yes, there's a lot of golds in here. And this is the difference between the bronze color and this one. There's a lot of golds in here, but there's so many different textures. They added a little bit of that green. They added just, you know, a brighter gold. This different texture. This is like a shimmery gold. This the same, but it's like a little more intense. This has like glitter in it. This doesn't. You have this color right here, which looks kind of boring, but I've actually used it so much because it's very wearable. And then you have this kind of topper. Okay, my hands are so dirty. Let's use my left hand. This you have this like really glittery topper color that really changes the look overall. And then these two right here, look at those. They look similar here, but it's different formula. I'll swatch them so you can see. So this one right here is like pigmented and glittery, and this is more like a topper. I think they look more similar on camera than in person. You can really see the glitters in this one, and then this is more of that shifty color from like a green to you even have a little bit of pink when you twist, when you turn it. Yeah, it's just beautiful. And you know, there's a little bit of color here too. Like, look at this. So beautiful. So overall, this is my favorite palette that she has. I love every single one of these browns because they all have its place. They're not similar to each other. You know, you have very good neutrals here. This has a little bit of a pink. This has a little bit more of a brown. This is more of a mustard color. And then, you know, you can intensify the depth through this. And also you get this color to kind of have some fun with it. So yes, this has to be my favorite palette. And also this one right here, this was another one that I'm like, will I use it? And I keep reaching for it. Yeah, I use every single one of these shades, and I think it is a stunning palette. She needs to make this permanent because I think it's her best one that she ever came out with. So those are all the Natasha Denona palettes I have. I don't own any of her really large ones. I've been craving them for years, but I skipped on them, and even though she had some amazing deals on them, I just felt like they're too big. Even as a makeup artist, I already have so much that I don't feel the need to add those to my collection. And I already use these quite a lot and I'm enjoying them. And yeah, I think I won't buy the really big ones. And then what else am I missing? I know the Lila, the Metropolis, the Sunset, and what else am I missing? I'm not sure. But yeah, those were my just ranking my Natasha Denona palettes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I also have a lot of Pat McGrath, and I have 4 new to me palettes from Pat McGrath. So I feel like even that I could kind of do a ranking eventually. I still need to play with the other ones, the newer ones to me. But yeah, if you guys enjoy these, let me know down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and which one's your favorite Natasha Denona palette. I'm so curious because we all have different tastes and different things that we enjoy about a palette, and I love seeing what you enjoy. So thanks for being here. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.